Iran or Israel attacked Iran. We're gonna react to how it was done. But other than that, let's get right into the video. You know what I'm saying?
Let's get it.
All right, let's see this. Let's see this.
It's roughly 6 a.m. in Israel. A series of fighter jets takes off, armed with long-range, high-precision missiles.
Okay.
According to CIA and Israeli intelligence, a significant portion of Iran's leadership has gathered here, in a compound in Tehran. Among them, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, the country's supreme leader. 2 hours and 5.
There's a lot of mixed stuff around this supreme leader. Like a lot of people are like crying for him, saying they love him. He's done a great thing, and then others are saying he's like a full-on terrorist, dude. So I don't really know. It's very different political sides right now, but we're gonna go into the facts right after this.
Minutes after the jets took off, Israeli missiles strike the compound. This is how the Israeli and US attacks on Iran unfolded.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Everybody's saying this shit's AI. Like, we
looks
don't really
too-
know.
it-
We
it-
don't
it
really
looks
know.
too
How the
real,
country's leader was killed, and what has happened since.
You think that the leader died from the explosion, or you think that he faked his death?
Say it again.
You think that the guy died from the explosion, or you think he faked his death just so he can get out of office?
He got a bailout, bro.
Yeah, because you know how he's
He got a
getting
Trump
old.
bailout deal, bro.
Yeah, he's getting like old and stuff like that.
Like
and then
Maduro?
people are like fucking rebelling against him, and shit like that. Who knows?
Who knows?
By the time this video is published, new
Nah,
details
that
might have
guy
emerged.
LARPing.
Most likely.
The US, Israel, and Iran have a long history of tensions. Until 1979,
Or he's just a puppet. He actually believes this shit's real.
Iran was an authoritarian monarchy ruled by Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi. He was supported by the US. When his regime was overthrown in the Iranian Revolution, Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini took control of the country and founded the Islamic Republic. He was determined to transform Iran into a country ruled by Islamic law. Khomeini abandoned the former Shah's pro-Western stance. The US and its close ally Israel were declared sworn enemies. Especially the opposition of Israel became a strategic and ideological goal. Ruhollah Khomeini died in 1989 and was succeeded by Ali Khamenei, a cleric who quickly rose through the ranks and had become a key figure in the religious leadership of the country. Over time, Iran, Israel, and the US repeatedly engaged in conflicts. Sanctions were imposed onto Iran. Iran became a key financier of anti-Israeli militias in the region. In 2002, it was uncovered that Iran was enriching uranium at 2 secret locations. The enriched uranium could be used for nuclear...
Guys, right here. This is where we want to start listening to it, okay? Because this industry is printing, okay?
Like what is it known for? Like
Uranium.
What do you use uranium for?
Uranium is like the main ingredient you need to make nuclear weapons.
Oh.
reactors or nuclear weapons, a fear the US and its allies had for a while already. Iran has repeatedly denied its alleged pursuit of nukes. The US and Israel ran many attempts to stop the nuclear program through cyber attacks, the assassination of key scientists, and especially in the US's case through diplomacy. In 2015, the Obama administration and the Iranian regime agreed to a nuclear deal.
This is a good day, because once again, we're seeing what's possible with strong American diplomacy. Under the nuclear deal that we, our allies and partners, reached with Iran last year, Iran will not get its hands on a nuclear bomb.
However, in 2018, President Trump pulled out of the deal.
They're doing the behind the scenes.
The fact is, this was a horrible, one-sided deal that should have never, ever been made.
Ever since, relations have tensed up. In 2025, in the midst of new negotiations, Israel and the US launched a series of airstrikes on Iran using bunker buster bombs. 3 Iranian nuclear sites were heavily damaged. In the same year, Iran plummeted further into an economic crisis. The currency crashed.
So regardless of this is on this channel, right? The main thing we really want to teach you guys is how to be financially free from all of this noise, okay? So everything, all this war stuff is all noise, okay? Everything is trying to distract you from trying to make money, right? But you have to also be, or you also have to have an open mind to take in these type of information and then position yourself to where you can win, okay? So there's already a couple of topics they talked about that are very important and very key metrics to making money, okay? So one would be the uranium deal that they had, okay? That's huge, okay? That's huge in the stock market. If you're in uranium, you would have been up this year already. Second, they're talking about the bombers, whatever, right? You can literally look up what company manufactures these bombers, okay? Because these are millions and millions of dollars, if not billions of dollars, that are being funded by the Department of War into these companies, and they're getting billion-dollar contracts to go make missiles, basically. Okay, so each time they missile someone, that's $1 million that has just evaporated. Okay, so then they're gonna have to replace that ammo. Who's gonna replace the ammo? Figure it out. Okay, but then we're gonna lean into that a little bit more after this. But let's keep watching.
Okay, so what's gonna happen? So you know how like the U.S. just bombed them recently?
Yeah.
So are they trying to like stop the production of missiles or something like that, or are they trying to claim the uranium?
That I don't even know. We have to watch more to understand it, but I don't really tend to worry about these like little details of like who is winning the war, who is doing what. I'm just thinking about where can I make money. Okay, this is finance maxing 101. This is what you want to focus on. Okay, not the storyline. Okay, the storyline is nothing. Okay, focus on the money.
People grew frustrated. By the end of 2025, mass demonstrations erupted across the country. Peaceful protesters and rioters called for the end of the Islamic Republic. Trump called for an uprising of the Iranian people against their government, saying help is on its way. But the regime brutally cracked down on the protests. It shut down the internet across the country. For days, little to no news made it out. In the end, thousands of people were killed. 50,000 reportedly got arrested. The US began to build up troops in the region, with Trump repeatedly threatening Iran. On Thursday, February 26, there was a last-ditch diplomatic effort between the two countries in Geneva. To no avail. Saturday, February 28, around 9:40 a.m. in Tehran, Iran's capital. This government compound is not far from Hur Square. It reportedly houses offices of the Iranian presidency, Iran's National Security Council, and the supreme leader.
Oh shit! So they're about to go in and bomb like the actual like.
Yeah, they're going right
that's
in the
like
middle.
the White House of like Iran right there.
Since
right in the middle.
2025, the US has apparently gained specific insights how Ayatollah Khamenei and the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps communicate and move while under pressure. Reportedly, the CIA has tracked Khamenei for months. They've mapped his whereabouts and studied his patterns. They're confident he's here today.
Another thing they just pointed out, if you're very keen, you would also know, okay? So they're talking about CIA and tracking, right? So who are the main trackers? We'll get into that. But one thing to know is there's huge AIs that are being used with the CIA and government that have huge government contracts right now to track like literally these enemies that they so-call, okay? And another company that deals with that would be like Palantir too, okay? We'll dive deep into that after, but these are the things that you should be noting when you're watching this, okay?
And they learned of a meeting of top Iranian officials on site. The US and Israel originally intended to strike at night under the cover of darkness. But they reportedly moved at time of attack. This opportunity was too good to miss. Suddenly, Israeli missiles hit the buildings. During impact, several national security officials are in one of them. Supreme Leader Khamenei reportedly in another. Afterwards, satellite imagery shows heavy damage to the buildings. Black smoke is rising. Geo-confirmed footage recorded here also shows massive amounts of smoke in the area of the compound. A picture taken here, too. Ali Hosseini Khamenei died in the attack. Also killed, Suyid Abdorrahim Mousavi, Chief of Staff of Iran's Armed Forces. Ali Shamkhani, head of...
Now, if you're a real short seller, you'd be shorting everything that they own. Now, that's smart, but I don't know anything about that. I usually don't tend to go into shorting because it just doesn't make crazy amounts, you know?
The National Defense Council. Mohammad Pakpour, Commander-in-Chief of the IRGC. Aziz Nazir-Zadeh, Defense Minister. According to Israeli news, a total of 30 senior Iranian officials were killed in just half a minute in the opening strike.
Wow.
The operation will stop the Roaring Lion in Israel and Epic Fury in the US. It has been planned for months.
First off, who was the guy making this channel? Because is he a spy, bro? How does he know all of this? Like I'm
pretty sure he did his research.
No, either he did his research or he's like a propaganda fucking printing machine right now, okay?
Pezeshkian, president of Iran, however, survived. Ali Larijani.
How was it like only like 2 days ago when they attacked, like 4 days ago, and he has all this information that's probably not even mostly released to the public yet, which is insane.
And he posted exactly 4 days ago too.
Yeah, what the heck?
This guy worked fast.
Secretary of the Supreme National Security Council vowed Iran would fight back and assured
No, he posted 4 hours ago.
Oh, he did?
Continuity of governance. The strike on the government compound was just one part of the operation. Afterwards, Israel reportedly take out Iran's air defenses, especially around Tehran. In a third wave, Israel deploys roughly 200 fighter jets, bringing much of its air force into Iran. The goal is reportedly to destroy as many Iranian missiles as possible, as fast as possible. The US reportedly joins in about 30 minutes after the attack on Iran's leadership.
Oh shit, so this was an attack led by Israel? I thought it was by US.
This was a planned attack.
According to the New York Times, their attacks focused primarily on targets in eastern Iran, far away from Israel. They also attacked the Iranian fleet. Reportedly, US warships fired Tomahawk cruise missiles at Iranian targets. American ground forces used artillery rocket systems. Several military command centers in Tehran are hit.
Bro used the wrong clip.
By Israeli airstrikes. Further explosions are reported in Iranian cities across the country. Trump releases a video officially announcing the military operation and urges the Iranian people to take over the government.
When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take.
Netanyahu later does the same. Shortly after their announcement, an airstrike hits the Sarayet Tayyibi Elementary Girls School in Minab, Hormozgan province. Iranian state media and officials claim that at least 175 people got killed, most of them likely children. These numbers have not yet been confirmed independently. According to the New York Times, the school is adjacent to an Iranian naval base. US Central Command announced an investigation into the strike. Iran launches Operation True Promise 4 and the retaliatory strikes begin. Countless missiles are fired at dozens of sites across the Middle East. More than 200 missiles are launched at Israel alone. In solidarity with Iran, the Houthis in Yemen announced that they will resume attacking shipping lanes in the Red Sea. This effectively ends a 3.5-month pause following the 2025 Gaza ceasefire. The US-led coalition reportedly...
First off, rest in peace to all the people that died in this, that were basically used as puppets in this whole propaganda printing machine. But there's a couple of things that we also can note. If you understand the oil trade and why Trump is with Trump is partnering with Israel, is because they really want to take control of the oil in Iran, so then they can slow down the production into China. Now that could also be a theory, but if you understand that, then more people are also believing that, then you can also make a play off of oil and gas and electricity and power. There's a lot of factors that come into play right here, okay?
intercept several drones and missiles heading towards Erbil in the Kurdistan region of Iraq with no casualties. Multiple news outlets later report explosions near Erbil International Airport where US soldiers are stationed. That afternoon, Dubai International Airport is hit with an Iranian drone, striking Terminal 3 and effectively closing UAE airspace. Several luxury hotels like the Burj Al Arab and Fairmont de Palma set on fire. It's unclear whether this was the result of a direct attack or if the fires were caused by debris from intercepted missiles. But the UAE isn't the only country targeted by Iran. In Bahrain, missile and drone attacks hit the US Navy Fifth Fleet headquarters. Footage shows what appears to be an Iranian Shahed drone striking a tower block roughly 20 minutes from the facility.
Holy shit, dude! This is
20-minute of pure destruction.
They're going crazy. Yeah, they're sending it.
In Qatar, the Ministry of Interior
during
reports...
that time when they were attacking, it was a good time to buy aftermarket for those uranium companies, right? Or those missiles companies.
I wouldn't say uranium because uranium's more of like the nuclear stuff, but these aren't like nuclear missiles. I'm pretty sure they're just like normal missiles.
So it would have been good to buy into like missile companies.
Yeah, missile companies
like
probably the best. Yep.
Defense companies, something like that, like military shit.
So I'll give you guys one right now. Lockheed Martin. They're the ones that are making the fighter jets and the bombers. Lockheed Martin.
66 ballistic missiles were fired at.
This is not financial advice, okay? I am not a financial advisor. Do not come after me and try to sue me. I'm just telling you facts of what is being used, okay?
The country. The debris reportedly injured at least 8 people. In Saudi Arabia, the Prince Sultan Air Base is targeted by ballistic missiles, which are reportedly successfully intercepted. In Jordan, the military reports that it has intercepted and downed 49 drones and ballistic missiles, likely headed for the major US military bases across the country. In Kuwait, Iranian drones strike 2 passenger terminals of the Kuwait International Airport. In Syria, debris from an Iranian missile kills at least 4 civilians while injuring several others. Both Qatar and Saudi Arabia announced that they reserve the right to respond. The Arab League condemns Iran's attacks. Following the blanket strike by Iran, NATO senior command said its missile defense systems in Europe and its early warning radar in Turkey are on alert. Some experts warned that Iran may activate sleeper cells in Europe and North America. There are many more events and details we can't cover in this video, as the texts continue back and forth. So let's zoom out a bit. The US's involvement in the attacks is controversial. On Truth Social, Trump said this.
You know how like they have like a missile defense system? Are they using AI to like track incoming missiles?
Yeah, they're using a lot of AI technology in that.
So everything's AI then, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is that our AI is superior then.
So there's a lot of drone stocks, which is like the drones carrying a bunch of bombs on them. Right. Trackers too, they're considered like drones. There's also like the lasers where like they'll shoot the laser into the sky to shoot down missiles and stuff.
Right.
Those tend to do okay, but I think the most important things in war isn't on defense, but really is the attacker. So how good can you attack and kill them and get rid of their weapons before they get rid of all your people, you know? So that's very important. So if you understand the economy is really run by energy and most of all, your ability to defend yourself and your actual power. How much power your country actually holds. And I'm talking about weapons, power, okay? I'm not talking about like power in speech, power in money, power in whatever the fuck, okay? I'm talking about legit weaponry power. That's how America has always been on top, and they've always like conquered so much, is because we literally have the fucking best weapons. And that's why our currency is used everywhere. That's why we're spreading on our language to every other country, is because America is so fucking dominant because of our power and our weapons, basically. And it's not because we have more oil. It's not because we have more energy, okay? You look at Saudi Arabia, they have everything more than us at this point, okay? China literally has more energy than us at this point. But why is America still the #1 powerhouse? It's because we have the weapons at the end of the day. We are the enforcers at the end of the day, okay? So if you can enforce the law upon everybody else because you have the fucking weapons to do so, and they can't fucking argue against you when you're holding a gun towards their head, you know? So then you technically rule. And that's how America has always ruled, you know? So
Our objective is to defend the American people by eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime. Its menacing activities directly endanger the United States, our troops, our bases overseas, and our allies throughout the world.
It's an argument for a war of necessity. An attack was looming across the sea, so the U.S. had to strike preemptively.
So you're saying that, since you know how you said America is like the powerhouse, the enforcer. So whenever America gets into like some sort of war, right, like this right now, always invest into the weaponry stuff, right? Because we know that we're gonna like mass produce that shit.
It's more of like there's gonna be a lot of talks about it and a lot of hype around it. So you already know a bunch of people are gonna pour in millions just because there's so much attention going towards it.
Right.
So it's like you can really just easily capitalize off of the attention really fast. Now this is not financial advice, but it does work.
Okay.
In my case, it works. All right.
Right.
So I'm not gonna say it's gonna work for you forever, okay? Because there's from time to time things get to a certain point where it no longer can shift the market, okay? Because people are getting too used to it,
right?
You know, or people are already tired of it, you know, and they're like, it's not new anymore or whatever, you know. But as of right now, it's still a very huge new trending topic, you know. So then there's gonna be a lot of eyeballs, and whenever there's a lot of eyeballs, there's always going to be money to be made.
But it's unclear how Iran's activities directly endanger the United States. Iran was apparently years away from obtaining a nuclear weapon, according to the US's own intelligence. The country's ballistic missile arsenal is estimated to reach no more than 3,000 kilometers, a threat to neighboring countries, but not to the US. Iran might have been attacked because it was in a uniquely weak position, as a type of preventive measure. This might make this a war of choice, not one of necessity.
These preventive wars are often condemned internationally, not only because they're optional, because if every nation went out to strike adversaries who they thought were temporarily weak, we would live in a world of constant war.
According to international law, a war of choice would be illegal. There are also discussions whether the attack was in violation of the US Constitution. Trump started the war without congressional approval. Across the US and parts of the world, protests erupted, partly against the Iranian regime, partly against American involvement in the war. Oil prices have risen sharply. Experts warn of an impending
oil prices have risen sharply. Keep that in mind.
Global energy crisis because of the closure of the Strait of Hormuz. In Iran, people celebrate the death of Ayatollah Khamenei. Others are grieving. At this point, it remains unclear who will succeed.
The people who succeed at the end of the day are the people who actually benefit off of this, okay? Because we're all in a shithole at the end of the day, okay? And the only way to out is to dig a hole for yourself to fucking crawl out of, okay? You gotta fucking dig that fucking tunnel to escape the fucking jail hole that you're in, okay? That's the only fucking way. If you're out here protesting like everybody else for freedom of rights and all this other bullshit, instead of actually freeing yourself first, you know? Because the only way you can free everybody is if you build the road to free everybody else out, you know? Same thing as, what's her name? The one that freed all the slaves? Rosa Parks? Was it Rosa Parks? Or is she the one on the bus?
That's the bus.
Harriet Tubman. Harriet Tubman. She's the one that was helping everybody fucking escape, okay? Because she freed herself first, and then she helped people escape. So then I freed myself now. Now I'm trying to help you guys escape, all right? So if you're still stuck on like, oh, Iran versus this other person versus this, oh, China now, China this, like, bro, you're stuck there forever, okay? You're literally gonna be stuck like consuming their propaganda bullshit, okay? Instead of actually digging your own hole out or trying to find the person that's digging the hole out, trying to help you out, you know, and listening to them instead of staying in the shithole that you're in.
For now, the regime formed the provisional government. It seems set on revenge and continues to strike Israeli and US bases. The exact number of deaths is hard to determine at this point. According to the US military, so far 3 American soldiers have been killed with 5 seriously injured. According to Al Jazeera, 10 people have been killed in Israel, 3 in the UAE, 1 in Bahrain, 1 in Kuwait, 13 in Lebanon, and 2 in Iraq. The Iranian Red Crescent has reported that since the attacks, at least 555 people have been killed, with hundreds injured. According to the Times of Israel, these numbers do not differentiate between military and civilians. The situation is likely to escalate further in the upcoming days. Timely reporting like this is incredibly resource-intensive. It's only possible thanks to today's sponsor, Hanson Shaving. We're grateful. Their support and a smoother pack
here,
of
bro.
100.
Oh, sponsored.
Okay, so there's a couple of things we can talk about, okay? So first off, okay, with this whole war thing, right? First thing they talked about was nuclear, okay? Uranium, nuclear, whatever you want to call it, okay? That's huge. Wait, where's the uranium clip again?
Forward.
Where's my uranium? All right, the uranium clip, all right?
Okay. Yeah, what's so special about it?
So the thing that's special about uranium is like everybody fucking needs it. Whoa, why is it like... All right. You gotta scoot in.
Why is it so blurry?
I think it's focused on like back here. That's why instead of up here.
Let me pull up a chair.
Why you no focus, bro? You no focus. Focus. All right. So the thing about uranium, right, is that you this is like the number one thing ingredient that you need to even make a nuclear weapon. Okay.
Okay.
So without uranium, you're not making shit. Okay. So there's a lot of uranium stocks. There was a huge thing with uranium earlier this year. Okay, because whenever Trump went into office, they already knew, like a lot of people already kind of knew that he would be on
the war side.
On the war side.
Okay.
Okay. Not only the war side, but then again, like a lot of energy and nuclear plants need nuclear too. So then you could basically predict just by the presidency, like what stocks would do well, and you probably would have performed better than the S&P 500 alone, you know?
Right.
If you had invested into these stocks. Okay. So uranium went crazy this year. I don't think it's going crazy anymore, so I don't really want to like go deep dive into it because it's probably not the most hype thing right now, or the most like everybody's paying attention to it. So it's kind of like the AMC run too, you know? It's like,
yeah,
AMC wasn't a fucking good company. Why did it go up fucking 100%, hundreds of percentage? Okay, it's because the hype, the attention. Okay, so it's like you want to capitalize off of the attention too, you know? So it's a multitude of things adding up that will give you the best fucking play. Okay. Okay. Next, we can talk about. Okay, then they were talking about the bombers. Okay, so who's making the fucking bombers? Okay, so the leading person making these jets or whatever you want to call it, these fighter jets, whatever, is basically Lockheed Martin. Okay, LMT. Okay, and if you look at their fucking stocks, right, LMT,
they go up.
They went fucking crazy. Okay, look, let me pull up on Google. Google's probably a better depiction. Oh yeah, guys, let me show you guys. Okay, so here's the bomber, right? Okay, sorry, I didn't get to show you guys the bomber, but here's the bomber. We're gonna pull up. This is LM. We're gonna pull up LMT real quick. Okay, the bomber. Okay, so make sure you realize the bomber. This bomber right here, or this fighter jet bomber, whatever you want to call it, is made by Lockheed Martin. Okay, they manufacture these. You can literally just go and grok it. Okay, and be like, who's making these bombers? Okay, and then you can figure that out in like 2 fucking seconds. Okay, but on February 28, whenever the bomb happened, okay, so right here, so about right here, and this is February 27th, okay, but this is the close of market, and then the next day it opens up, whatever, right? It shoots up like, it was more than like 20%, okay, so Google's a little off, but it shoots up more like 15, 20-ish percentage, okay? So then you could have like cashed out then and there, okay? But to you holders, okay, you're still up 3%, you know, if you had just knew this information, okay? So 3%, that's an easy dub, okay? That's an easy, like, in and out type thing, okay?
And the U.S. launched a series of air contaminate for months.
Okay, another thing we can talk about.
Union cities and announced that they wrote like the Bush footage.
Okay, so the missiles too, right? I forgot to mention that. The missiles too. That was a huge thing too. Okay, so then the missiles was RTX. That's Raytheon. They make the missiles. There's a lot of other companies too. Okay, but these are the most like well known and
they're still going up today.
Huge contracts. Okay, so you look at their year, right? So this whole year they're up like 60%. Okay, why? Because of fucking Trump. Okay, it's because of fucking Trump. Other than that, they would not be going up. Okay, like you look at like 2024, like every other year, like they're doing mid. Okay. But this year, why are they up? It's because of fucking Trump loves his war, okay? So if you understood
what about
that,
on the 28th though, how much did it go up for that?
See, so then the same thing on the 28th right here. So it spiked up, okay? I think that went up like 10 to 12%. And if you were in on that position, you would have been up 10 to 20%, okay? It would have been an easy dub, easy bag. Now you'll probably be up like probably like 3-4% still, okay? Not bad if you're still holding, but you could have made money, okay? The whole premise of this is to make money, okay? So this is why you got to pay attention to these news articles. You got to pay attention to what the world is paying attention to, okay? It's not about like what you want to do all the time. Okay, it's about like, what is the world paying attention? What is the world? How is the world moving? Okay, what gears are being turned? And then how can I position myself to extract as much as I can out of that situation? Okay.
Throughout the world.
So our
Constant.
Okay.
These prevent
And the
or
other thing that we're
temporary
talking about was oil,
Oil's
whatever,
going up.
right?
Yeah, oil's going up.
Barrels of oil is going up. Okay, so then this whole canal right here, right? This is where a lot of trade in the oil happens. Okay, so this sea right here, this little ocean, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Okay, a lot of ships travel in and out of here. Okay, so ships will go from in and out of here to either because they trade oil like crazy in this area. Okay, so then the trade in that, now that like Iran's being attacked, right? So then now that all of these partners like on the borders of these ocean areas, right? All of them are like more afraid of like, oh, are we gonna get attacked now? Oh, are we gonna still produce as much oil now? Now that Iran's getting attacked, now that the government shut down, is Iran still gonna produce as much oil for us? Blah blah blah. You know. Right. So then this is causing a shortage in supply, basically. Not a huge shortage yet, okay? But it's gonna cause a tiny fraction of a shortage, okay? Because then now China can't get their oil from Iran, okay, which is like one of their main suppliers, okay? So that's why like this whole like America going into this war is really like them trying to stop Iran from giving China all that oil and energy for them to keep growing at the pace they're growing. Because if they keep growing at the pace they're growing, they're gonna fucking far surpass America, okay? Because the number one bottleneck in AI right now is energy, okay? So then China energy versus USA. So if you look at the China energy versus USA chart, right, you will see that China is leading by like I think it's like 2 to 3x at this point, okay? So they are producing 2 to 3 times the amount of energy America is producing right now, okay? So then they're well positioned.
That's 2012.
Yeah, that's 2012, okay? So then that's not even an updated
now,
one.
Yeah.
Let me see, 2025. Let's try to...
Yeah.
Yeah, we're cooked, okay? So America's basically cooked, okay? I'm trying to find a really good graph that can show you guys, but hold on. Okay, regardless of that though, okay? Regardless of all these things that I'm telling you, because you really don't need to know other than that, like what I'm telling you, okay? So regardless of that, okay? China is producing massive amounts of oil, okay? So then with the massive amounts of oil, they're going to be able to train their AI much cheaper, okay? So then they're going to get cheaper training, which gives more and more people the ability to use their AI,
get more data,
to collect even more data and train their algorithms even more. So they are just positioned to win, okay? Not only that, but then you need the factories, you need everything. Everything is the bottleneck of everything is going to be your fucking is going to be your energy at the end of the day, okay? If you look at that, like any civilization ever, their energy output has always correlated with how well their economy was doing, okay? Right. So the more energy they had, the better their economy was always going to do, okay? So like a caveman society, they're not producing no energy. That's why they never got nowhere, okay? Versus America, they started producing a shit ton of oil. They did very well, okay? So same thing with China. They're producing so much more energy than us. They're headed to do very, very well compared to us. Okay, so the other thing they talked about was the CIA, right? The CIA going into this.
The intelligence.
To even bomb this whole fucking thing, they needed like a really good intelligence agency to know, right?
And then you say it has to do with AI, like tracking them all down, stuff like that.
So the reason that we're even able to track down this like the movement of everybody, right? It's because they have fucking crazy ass satellites, okay? They have crazy satellites scanning everything, so they're able to track everyone, okay? Real time, live data, everything, okay? So they know legit where the nigga was probably sitting, okay? So they use the satellites with AI, the Pentagon, whatever you want to call it, but the Department of War, they have they're in contracts with Anthropic, Claude, Palantir. All of them working together, basically like it's like a spy software where they can literally see and know exactly where you are, okay? Literally, they're probably spying on you right now, but it's a waste of time for them too, okay? But they literally could. They could just send like a fucking beam of X-ray down and just see that you're sitting down jerking off in your bed, okay? But
wait, really?
But they're not gonna waste their time on you, okay? But they're gonna use that technology for the people who they want to take down. So, for example, if they want to take down this leader, they're gonna use that satellite technology, whatever, scan the perimeter, understand who is sitting where, and then they're gonna drop fucking nukes on them, okay? Not only that, but there's like also like they have signal jammers. They have they can jam all their radar. So then so like even Iran has like the radar technology where like they're scanning for missiles coming in to their domain, right?
Right.
But then America can literally come in with our fucking satellites, shockwave and electrocute. Not electrocute. It's not really electrocution, but it's more of like it can trick the radar to believing that there's nothing there, okay, by sending a different type of wave towards it, okay? So and it can basically signal jam it and make it believe that there's nothing, okay?
Right.
But America's so fucking advanced that we're able to do that, okay? So they planned that. So they've been probably in planning for this attack for months, okay, to even track where the guy was, to track the exact location, to shut down all the radars so then they can bomb it correctly, to locate the guy, to have the bombs ready so they can attack each location precisely. They have the whole AI running behind the scenes to keep everybody real time updated on everything.
Right.
So they have been building out this whole thing just for this attack. Okay, so this is a very coordinated attack. You guys literally stand no chance if you're not in America because we have the best fucking weapons. Okay, so good luck to you guys. Okay, but
okay, so let's say so back to the AI, right?
Yeah.
So financially, right? Financially, if you're trying to invest into like an AI company for these type of situation, is this like a long-term investment or it could be like a short-term too? Because you know how like they already have all the AI set up and stuff like that, right? But in order to build it, you need investment, and then all the investor will pour more money, and then the stock will go up eventually, right? But like right now, when the war started, do you think the AI stock will go up still?
So regardless of what we think, okay, like because I cannot predict anything. I don't predict things, okay. I just go with where the flow of water goes, okay.
Okay.
So you can just see patterns, okay. There's patterns that tend to happen over and over and over, okay. So for example, like this AI shit, right? It's like there's huge amounts of companies spending crazy amounts of capex, okay. So basically they're pooling billions of dollars together to build out these data centers to be able to do shit like this, okay? So it's like if the smartest people in the world are spending billions and billions of dollars on this stuff, you know?
Right.
Don't you think it might be worth looking into? You know what I mean? It's like that, you know? So you don't need to be the smartest guy in the room. You just got to be in the you don't have to be the smartest guy in the room. You just have to understand what the smartest guy is doing, okay? So that's all you got to understand, okay? You don't need to know every single detail about like why data centers are going to be useful, why AI is so useful, why this that, okay? And the third, right? But you just need to know, okay, how are the top people moving? What are they doing? Why are they doing it? Okay? And then just try to like understand that, why their intentions, and then play off of that in your own way, okay?
Okay.
So with this whole Palantir shit, Palantir has been doing tremendous these past like two months or whatever.
Can you pull it up? Can you pull it up?
Like, yeah, we can pull it up for sure. PLTR.
Wow, 5% today.
So Palantir uses
that's the technology they're using right now to track that guy, right?
Yep. So this is like the Batman technology where he can literally just see and know where you are, okay? And they're getting crazy amounts of like government contracts because they literally have the best fucking software out there, okay? So there's literally no competition
during this time too.
Yeah, so everything war probably jumps. If you were in, you were in, okay? If you understood it, you'd be ahead. That's it.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So make sure you check out our Discord if you want more real insight on my portfolio and what I'm into right now, okay? So we're going to talk more about that, but if you want a cheat sheet, it's in the Discord, okay? So join the Discord, link in the description. Join it. All right, okay. So we're probably just going to move on to the next topic because this is getting kind of boring, guys.
Right. All right, next.
All right, let's go to the next. On to the next. let's get some.
SpaceX new
Let's get
product.
some Elon news because Elon always knows.
Is this the export?
We were founded 24 years ago with the one primary goal, and that was to build rockets and spaceships that would take us to live on other planets. And 24 years ago, that seemed really crazy, but today, it doesn't seem that crazy. I want to roll a video just in case you haven't seen some of the technologies leading towards that. So you can't go live on the moon and Mars without connectivity. So certainly we want to work on connected solutions for there. Unfortunately, there are still almost a third of the people here on planet Earth that remain either unconnected or incredibly underserved. And that's why we started Starlink. We started flying in 2020. We have a giant constellation of satellites that serve humans here on Earth. And connectivity is not just about watching movies, although it's a great way to wind down. But those that are unconnected, once they are connected, have access to banking, better healthcare, education online, and it's an incredible technology for emergency services. It can also help save lives.
So what is Starlink? Starlink is the world's largest and most advanced satellite constellation. We're now operating nearly 10,000 satellites in low Earth orbit, providing hundreds of terabits of capacity for broadband services nearly everywhere in the world. Starlink is enabled with innovations like our advanced phased arrays, efficient use of spectrum, and our highly performant lasers that create a mesh of connectivity that literally encircles the globe. In the 5 years since we've been offering Starlink service, we've connected millions of people with highly reliable, high-performing connectivity. And we just actually crossed 10 million subscribers. But we're not stopping there. In 2024, we began launching our direct-to-cell constellation, which as of today we're calling Starlink Mobile. The goal of Starlink Mobile is to connect to regular unmodified cell phones everywhere in the world. At the time that we started the direct-to-cell program in 2024, 20% of the land area and 20% of the land area in the US and 90% of the Earth's surface was uncovered by terrestrial mobile connectivity. Starlink Mobile fills in those gaps. Now, after 18 months, we fully deployed the first generation Starlink.
BRB guys, beer. No, this is my parents, I think. Yeah.